Now, obviously then we have a major impact on how much the plant is using by the weather. And so the weather data has a huge amount to do with the consumptive use of the plant. So we're going to measure those things, and in this state we have a network throughout the irrigated agricultural area called the PAWS weather system. And so the other handout you have is a sample picture of how one of these PAWS stations is set up. Okay. Now on this station there are a number of items that need to be looked at. And so they're measuring temperature, of course. So somewhere we can find temperature. There's a thermocouple out there on that station. And temperature is always the first thing we always think about. So we find that on the station. So there is thermocouple listed there. Another thing we want to always make sure we know is the relative humidity. So you find relative humidity gauge on the weather station. We need to know wind speed. That's the anemometer. Wind speed is measured with a little device called an anemometer. It's the unit with the little cups that spins. And then there's a wind vane out there to give us direction. Want to maintain knowledge of the direction that the guy is running. This station has, for effective precipitation, it also has a rain gauge. So we can measure all of the precipitation that is occurring at the station. And so we do have a tipping bucket rain gauge out there. We also have soil sensors in the ground. We have ceramic soil moisture blocks. They're non-decomposing. They're continuous read. They're embedded. And we have them at, I believe out there 6 inches and 1 foot deep. We have a couple of them out there in our at our weather station. It's turf that it's on, so 6 inches is the place we want to be reading. And so we're monitoring the 6-inch depth. We also have a pyranometer, and the pyranometer is measuring sunlight intensity. And an added little device that's on this one is a leaf wetness sensor. So it's actually monitoring how a leaf would act during the day, throughout the day's course of action. They have created a piece of material that emulates how a leaf would react throughout a day. So all of those little things are out here on our weather station. We also have the ability then to send this information to a central collecting area. So this is a totally remote station that needs no outside human interaction except a couple of times a year, a little maintenance done on it. It's powered by battery, and there's a solar panel attached to recharge the battery continuously during the daylight hours. It has an antenna to send information out. This information is shot up to the top of Jump Off Joe Mountain, which is the hill on the south of Kennewick. If you look out straight to the west, down the valley, there's a big mountain top with no trees on it out there above Tri-Cities. There's a receiver there. It hits the receiver and kicks it right down into Prosser, where the WSU experiment station is in Prosser. And that is where the mainframe computer is that is collecting the data. Every 15 minutes this system downloads its data into that computer. And it's been running out there now for 4 or 5 years, and so we're gathering data continuously, and the more years it sits in one spot, the better the data gets as far as averages are concerned, and also for peaks, high and low spikes. And it's running 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the year.
How do you access that cumulative information?
Oh, then to access the weather station, you simply, by telephone, call up the Prosper Experiment Station and get your computer online, and your computer can talk to that mainframe computer. You need an access code, which they will grant you, and there's a, I'm not sure if there's a fee outside of your phone bill to bring that in. I don't think it costs the taxpayers are paying for it, so I don't think that there's any fee to the user in this case. There's a fee for the people that put in the weather stations for a yearly rate. We pay a few $100s a year for this weather station out here to keep it maintained. And there's, I don't know, 200 of these weather stations, something like that, throughout the area. And different farms or different grower groups have put them in, like in Tushy, I think the alfalfa seed growers sponsor one, and so they pay the yearly fee there. There's a number of farms that have their own weather stations right on them, and they pay for the yearly maintenance on them because they want that data, and so they're paying. They bought the station and they pay for the value in it. We bought the station and put it in out here, and then they maintain it for a yearly fee, and then the information's available to anybody in this region.